Sure that everything works. Dude, that camera is like this. I have no idea if this is level or not. Take 47. I think I've gotten the leveling issues worked out. I think everything's good. I think we're good to go here. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about how to showcase value using toys. Using this monster 3,000 piece Lego set I purchased online last night. It also came with a bed for Eddie, which he's currently using and hasn't gotten out of since. So this is a good set, and this is what we're going to do. You know, it's funny. As a kid, I would play around with different Legos. I remember having this very large, like black and yellow bin that, you know, your parents, as you grow up, would buy you different Legos from different, you know, birthdays, holidays, just anytime you went to the store, really. And all these sets and all these little pieces, and it made their way back inside this like massive tote. So I remember just like taking those pieces, dumping them all out onto the floor, and then just building whatever I could. I wasn't very good at building back then, but it didn't really matter because we just, you know, it didn't matter. Our imaginations would make up the difference between my ability to build things and what I wanted to create. So mainly I would make up stories about, you know, movies that I had seen. I would take those stories and kind of expand upon the narrative and just kind of play around for days in my house, just doing all sorts of like zipping and zooming, and the imagination would be running wild. I guess like you could call it a little bit of a mix of fan fiction, a little bit of art, but all I was really doing was just playing and imagining. And I kind of missed that over the holidays. Over the holidays? I don't know what that even means. I kind of missed that over the last decade or so. I haven't really spent a lot of time just playing. And so I want to get back to that a little bit. So in the middle of 2020, during our year of lockdowns and quarantines, I ended up purchasing a home. I closed on the house right before the world shut down, and I proceeded to go through that process into about 6 or 7 months into the pandemic. So when I started paying on my mortgage, I realized I really did need like a budget, and I needed a way to make it sort of fun. For the past few months, for the past 8 months or so, I've been paying somewhat aggressively onto my mortgage, but I can tell that hopefully as the world starts opening back up and I start integrating some travel and integrating some like other things, I hope to maintain kind of a healthy budget for my mortgage. So I needed a way to track that mortgage, track the payments to the mortgage, and make it fun, because if something's boring, I don't want to do it. I hate doing things that are boring. And it's much more enjoyable to buy a camera or buy a lens than to pay off your mortgage, even though mathematically it makes sense to pay off your mortgage, because as mortgages progress, they have like a long tail hockey stick. I guess for the viewer, it would be this. It would be a long tail hockey stick, like with regards to the interest. So the most amount your mortgage charges you for interest is at the beginning of your mortgage period. And then as your mortgage matures, typically you get, I don't know if this is typical, I'm not a financial person, this is how my mortgage was set up. Like mathematically, it was better for me to pay off more of my principal earlier on in the mortgage, because then the interest wouldn't compound and life wouldn't get crazy. So yeah, Legos. So during the whole process, I had, you know, when I did go to buy the house, I had done my due diligence, I'd made all the calculations, I had written everything down on paper, and I ended up being able to pay an extra $1,000 or so onto the mortgage every month, just towards like the principal, which is great and it's awesome, but that money also used to be used for going on trips, you know, eating out, buying expensive camera gear and equipment, and like all the fun toys. So I basically channeled most of that money onto my mortgage and being like responsible. So I needed kind of a mechanism, kind of a way to continue that fun or continue that focus while the world hopefully starts opening back up again. And this is where this massive box of Legos comes in. I'm gonna have like BTS that goes boom. It's gonna be like pouring Legos. It's gonna look sick right here. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, so my plan moving forward with this box, with this Lego set is, it's just to help mainly with motivation. This budgeting is hard, and so the way that I can do it is if I have like a tangible tactic, like what word am I thinking of? I think it starts with a T. It means like in the real world. Can't remember it right now, whatever. So here's the plan. This box contains 3,036 pieces of Legos to build a treehouse. Get it? I am growing my financial future through the tree. I don't know. But considering my down payment, my current payments for the last 8 months, I can put together about 7,000 of these pieces, which sounds like a lot now that I think about it. No, not 7,000 pieces. Math. Math is hard. 700 pieces, not 7,000 pieces. I just added a 0. So here's how it's gonna work. There's 3,036 pieces in the box. I assigned a value of, let's say, $100 to each piece, $300,000 mortgage, let's say. And so by the time I complete this puzzle, my mortgage will be paid off. Dun, 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 dun. Of course, this means it's gonna take me a few years to complete this puzzle. So what's cool is that there's autumn leaves. I didn't even notice that. There's autumn leaves included, there's spring leaves included, and summer leaves. I can just do this throughout the seasons if I ever get to that phase. So taking into consideration the down payment I've already put on the house, plus the payments that I've made for the last 8 or so months, I can put together 700 of these pieces today, which sounds way better than what I had originally thought. And I did the math. You can see 1,000 divided by 300,000. Struggling with math, but assigning the value, it also helps me track like just how much progress I've made, which I think is super important if you're gonna stay motivated. It's just to like reflect on how far you've come. It's very easy to get in a hole of like, this is never going to end. When is the light at the end of the tunnel? And hopefully this puzzle will be able to showcase that for me, is like, when will all this end? I want to showcase that I've already put forth that much money out to something, because when you just click the buttons on the computer and watch the bits go and a number changes from your bank account to another random number system on a computer, like it doesn't have the same feeling as if I literally put 700 pieces to this box together. Yeah, that's the plan. So I hope this has been helpful. Let's not keep, I don't know why I keep looking at this. I don't need that to say goodbye. I hope this has really been helpful. What are some ways that, let's do like a thing that you can say down in the comments to help us stay engaged here. What are some things that you would like to track in your life, and how do you use it? Do you use, like a spreadsheet? Do you use a little Post-it note somewhere? And then I would kind of challenge you to think through, like, would making that activity tactile, would that change your feeling on like the progress that you're making? Because I have a feeling that putting a physical thing together in the real world will help me achieve my digital goal of paying off this place. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.